So congrats on that Rubble Belt Stalker, Valakut, and thank you for the fun mask that went with it. So welcome, Nina. If you and other people are new here, we are just getting going on another random character. If this is your first time watching, we're going to make it interactive. And in fact, Nina, if you would do me a favor and type !1D100, I'd appreciate it. All right, Nina, you rolled a 19. That means we are making a female character. And now, Valakut, would you please type !1D10? Ma'am, this is not for you. This is habanero. You cannot have this. All right, Valakut rolls a 3. So from the player's handbook, we are making an elf. There are 3 types of elves. Anthanom, welcome. Anthanom, would you please type !1D3? One wish. Or in this case, we get a 1 on a 3-sided die. Hey, ma'am. You know better. I expect more out of you. I know you've been living in this house for some time now. We are making a Drow, everyone. For any of you who are new here, the fact that we just rolled a Drow is very interesting. And there's a saying that we have in this channel, it writes itself. And you'll discover why that's the case. Baloo's Clues. Would you please type !1D100? So we have a female Drow. Drow are medium-sized. You've got to go to bed now? Oh, all right, O'Sheeps. Be well. Thank you for hanging out with us. Blue rolls a 26, who's also neutral good. Yes. Funny how that works, Hark. It writes itself. Making a level 20 character who's a bard. College of Eloquence. All right. We're going to move on. Hark, would you please type !1D100? Could be Raz. Look, these connections are here for a reason, are they not? Stops on a 36. All ability score improvements. Now for the background. Victor, would you please type !1D20? Stops on a 2. We have a Charlatan. Raz, would you please type !1D6? Are you a Charlatan, Victor? Stops on a 5. This is our con. Oh, jeez. We randomly rolled 2 excellent backgrounds for this subclass of Bard. Wow. Personality traits are 2d8. We have a 4 and a 6. 3d6 for ideal, bond, and flaw. And that is a 6, a 4, and a 2. If you want to gift someone your minis that you have, Baloo, like, are these minis you're holding on to and then you just want to give them? Because you can do that. Oh, thank you, Daily. Sleep well, my friend. And I hope your date with Zuckmoy went well. All right, now we already know our class, and this bard doesn't get any features here. Nina, would you please type !1D100? And we're gonna find out. Oh, you know what? There's even a Drow descendant hat. It doesn't really change too much. But I forgot that on the custom sheet it does get into that. Anyway, let's go to Drow. And Nina is going to tell us how old this Drow is. Stops on a 36. So she has just become an adult. Now remember, this is physically an adult. In the player's handbook, for example, elves, let alone Drow in particular, are not culturally considered to be adults until they're 100. However, physically, they are adults at X age. So for a Drow, an adult is we're gonna roll an 18-sided die plus, 18 plus 200 and or a 263-sided die. 263-sided die plus 18. And roll it. So she is an adult at 46 years old. Now, our last character, who we determined was actually a half Drow, was a young adult at 16. Well, it doesn't mean... Look, you could be very worldly in 46 years, Nina. Alright, her base height is 4 feet 5 inches. And we're going to add 2d6 inches to her height. She is also 4 feet 11 inches. She and the half Drow are the same height. We're going to take 6, multiply it by 1d6. So we're adding 24 pounds. And we're adding 24 to 75. And so she is 99 pounds. So she's 4 foot 11, 99 pounds. He's 4 foot 11 and 124. It could be Big Sister archetype. We'll see, huh? Alright, now, when we're building a character, you all know that I love to begin with the background. The background tells you more about your character than your race and your class does. Any Drow can be a Drow. Any Dragonborn can be a Dragonborn. Any fighter battlemaster can be a fighter battlemaster. However, not any of those can be a particular person. And we're going to find out what that particular person is.
800 for 2400 crocodiles from the orphanage, please, sir.
All right, Balooz, I'll make sure to pull that after the broadcast. Yeah, go ahead, Victor. And West River Rat, good to see you back again. Welcome. All right, so here's our Charlatan. As a Charlatan, our scam that was randomly rolled is number 5. I run sleight of hand cons on street corners. I run sleight of hand cons on street corners. This still works very well for the Eloquence Bard. Now, our skill proficiencies are Deception and Sleight of Hand. Our tool proficiencies are with a Disguise kit and a Forgery kit. We're going to get a set of Fine Clothes, Disguise kit, tools of the con of our choice. Pardon me. So probably something like dice and card packs. Like, you know, street magic stuff. And a belt pouch with 15 guppas in it. So we have our favorite scheme. We like running sleight of hand cons on street corners. And our feature is that of a false identity. We have the paperwork and everything. People will vouch that we can be this other person. And as we're creating the character, let's try to think up what our false identity is. Well, hey, if that works for you, Victor, then categorize it as you wish. Now let's learn more about her as we try and uncover who is she, who is this identity, and what has led her into this lifestyle, especially being a good character, much like our other one was. Good doesn't mean that she doesn't have flaws. All right, I'm going to scoot this over so we can read. Her first personality trait is number 4. I'm a born gambler who can't resist taking a risk for a potential payoff. I'm a born gambler who can't resist taking a risk for a potential payoff. And her second personality trait is number 6. Sarcasm and insults are weapons of choice. All right, so we have a sassy drow who is not afraid to call you mean names, even if you say no bully. Now, for her ideal. We rolled number 6. Aspiration. I'm determined to make something of myself. We don't want to run sleight of hand games on street corners forever. We've been doing it for a while. We're an adult. We're 46 years old, even though we're probably not legally an adult. But we're an adult. We're grown up. I'm 4 feet 11 inches tall. Not bad for a drow. You know, she's definitely, you know, it's not that she's not eating. You know, at 4 foot 11, 99 pounds is still, you know, it's a healthy physique. Yeah, she could be very much a grown-ass woman. And she'll give you the sassy Z-snap as well. Now, what is her bond to this world? Number 4. I come from a noble family, and one day I'll reclaim my lands and title from those who stole them from me. Ooh. Hello, DMs. This is why backgrounds are so important. If we're role-playing one of your friends that's going to hand you this character sheet and say, I want to play this character, we have just introduced a big, an overarching or underpinning plot arc for you. And especially this can play in very well with our first character that we made up. And again, the fact that they were completely randomly generated and yet look at the connections, this was meant to be, my friends. All right, and now we are all flawed creatures, my friends, including this character, including you. That's not an insult. Look, we all got him. We all got him. Her flaw is number 2. I'm always in debt. I spend my ill-gotten gains on decadent luxuries faster than I bring them in. So you have quite the collection of waifus and or husbandos, Nina Wang. So I'm a born gambler who can't resist taking a risk for a potential payoff. Sarcasm and insults are weapons of choice. I'm determined to make something of myself. And so maybe, you know, she's... well, that goes into the bond. I come from a noble family, and one day I'll reclaim my lands and title from those who stole them from me. And yet she's always in debt. I spend all my ill-gotten gains on decadent luxuries. So she, for whatever reason, she's not in the family, or the family's on the run, or another family took over. Look, these are Drow. This stuff happens. And so she's out of her family estate. She's on the streets. She's running these con games, guessing games. You know, maybe even doing like showing a little ankle and taking a wallet as you're flirting, and then like, no, I'm sorry, you're not my type, and walk away. I'm keeping it PG-13. Oh, no problem. Lurk away, Rianne. It's good to have you. And you know what? Maybe because she was this noble, she was used to certain pleasures in life, and she outspends what she is making on the streets. And so she does always find herself in debt. And wouldn't you know, but she's going to run into a half-drow artist. And wouldn't that be something if they ended up being related? Or, if not directly, what if his drow half was from the other noble family that took over this one's estates? Now, of course, he's eschewed his drow heritage. He wants to be where the humans are and engage in that culture, which isn't depraved. But now we're having a party, and we could build these subtle undertones. We can incorporate all of these elements into a story and tell something really compelling that would take you as the pilots of these characters. Hey, stop it. Please. That would take you as the pilots of the characters on an excellent adventure. Make life on the streets, where I learned the wonders of gambling and being swindled, and that's when I learned how to do the same to others. Exactly, Nina. It writes itself, is what we say around here. She's the D&D version of Princess Anonastizze. Yes, West River Rat. It would appear so. If you trust her. Or do we just have a Fujiko from Lupin the Third? Well, if you're liking what we're doing, yep, it's been sheer coincidence, Victor. Nina is making a declaration, everyone. All right. As a Drow, let's find out. Being a Drow, what do we get? Who are we? What do we do? Oh, Pink Starburst. Uh-oh. That's good stuff, Hark. I hope they have enough for the class. All right, our dexterity score increases by 2. Our base speed is 30 feet, giving us 15 climb, 15 swim, and 0 fly. We get, it's normally 60, but we get 120 feet of dark vision as a Drow. We have proficiency in the perception skill. We also have Fey Ancestry, which gives us advantages versus being charmed. And magic can't put us to sleep. We can also trance. Once per day, we can spend 4 hours to get a long rest instead of having to rest for 6 to 8. All right, there we go. That's what all elves get. Now we get to the sub-races of High Elf, Wood Elf, and Dark Elf. Our Charisma score goes up by 1. Our Dark Vision is 120 feet. You have a disadvantage. Oh, yes, sunlight sensitivity. That whole deal with it, Nina, that's when the sunglasses have to come down to protect your drow eyes. And it's your deal with it sunglasses. If only it was a trance like that. That'd be cool, Nina. Drow magic. You know the Dancing Lights cantrip. When you reach 3rd level, you can cast the Fairy Fire spell once per day, and when you reach 5th level, you can also cast the Darkness spell once per day. And Charisma is your spellcasting ability for those spells. Well, that's going to work for us because we're a bard. So cantrips, Drow magic is going to give us Dancing Lights. And so we're going to put that down here as well. Drow magic, Dancing Lights. And then we know Drow magic, Fairy Fire, and Drow magic, Darkness. And we also get Drow weapon training. You have proficiency with rapiers, short swords, and hand crossbows. So weapons, I'm going to put bard weapons plus... Actually, bard I think covers all these. Yeah, bard covers them all. So I'm just going to put bard weapons. We're going to skip ahead to that in just a second. But if we didn't, normally, then there you go. Oh, Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Hey, this is habanero salsa con queso that I whipped up during the break. I don't see why not, Nina. Again, acquire it, use it, have it be a part of your character. Excellent. So, we are a Charlatan. We are a Drow. Now we must become a bard. Though, before we get to that step, has there been any inspiration just yet into what our false identity is? And I may very well suggest, is she actually from a Drow noble house? Or is that her false is that her false identity, where she has documentation, or at least, you know, a signet ring, a claim, kind of similar to Anonastizze, where her false identity is that of Drow nobility. Now, if she is actually noble, what's her false identity? Or if otherwise you think she's an urchin, she's someone, you know, maybe she was a hand servant that that used to look like a Drow noble. The house was attacked, and she took the clothes off of her dying mistress, and wanted to effectively like become her. Or if not in the immediacy, she took her stuff, ended up getting mistaken for it. And so now she's the princess on the run, even though she was the handmaiden or the whomever, the seamstress, like the of something of this Drow noble, and she might have even been thrust into that position. Lady's maid. And so maybe that's why we know. That's how we know how to interact with the common folk on the street. Maybe we were sent out on her behalf. Something happened. There was an overthrow. The lady was maybe killed or driven off or captured. We had her stuff. You know, we had her trunk packed full of everything. Like, you know, we have her signet ring. We have her favorite hairbrush. And of course, we know that was her favorite hairbrush because we brushed her hair. You know, we have her favorite t-shirt, her favorite torn jeans that she wore on rainy Saturday afternoons. You know, her dozen shoes and, you know, any undergarments that she was feeling sassy enough to wear. So we have the knowledge. We have the possessions. We have the things that could otherwise, you know, except if our blood was tested, or something else along those, we can back up that we have this false identity. So our false identity could be that Drow noble. And so for our backstory, character backstory, actually a maid for the noble for whom we now impersonate in exile after an attack on the house. Killed? Question mark? Killed her and drove me off. It's been real. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Balooz. And I'll make sure to take care of that interaction. She was a handmaiden of the mistress and also looks strikingly similar and would sometimes be used to stand in when the lady wanted some alone time. That could very well be, Nina. And look, we're talking Drow. Drow will absolutely use their own family members for, you know, to put them in the position of, you know, poison taste tester. Or, you know, even companion in the alone time and whatnot. So, you know, it's a completely different culture. And so she's the handmaid. She could be a cousin. She could be, you know, whatever, twice removed or something. Or in other words, she's just not in the main house line. And if you're not in the main house line, at least she's a female Drow, which in traditional Drow society would put her as being favored. So she didn't have to do the stuff that the male servants did. But she could still have been thrust into danger, even if she was a separate but retainer family, or she was in the main line but she wasn't a mainliner. There's all sorts of things that we can use to describe. I mean, yeah, Nina, in context, that, you know, who's to say that that's not the society? And I make sure to put that qualifier, because, I mean, we could talk about anything on this channel. While I generally keep it PG-13, we can talk about the taboo topics of, you know, religion, politics, and sex, because they intersect with life in so many different ways. And so when we confront various issues in those regards, we can talk about it with a straight face and not have to worry about, you know, limiting ourselves, or that I have to throw on a tag, because it's not just, you know, dropping F-bombs and shaking bits and bobs at you on camera. It's an actual good conversation where we're developing a culture and we're exploring it. I don't know what you're saying, Phoenix. Oh, yeah, so it's just like someone so far removed. Yeah, yeah. She could have even been in some way like, 2 drops of the blood in her body could have been the proper shade of blue for the succession, but that was never going to happen until, the everyone else in the family ended up getting murked. And Nina, is she purgant? Is she pregante? That could have actually been something we rolled into. As a charlatan, one of the parts of the background here, or one of the bonds is somewhere out there I have a child who doesn't know me, and I'm making the world a better place for him or her. Now, do you want to have that be a part of the character? Like, our first character, we said he was colorblind. Have any of you ever played a pregnantu character before? It's not a disability per se, but it certainly would affect the way that you adventure, the way that you interact with people, the decisions that you make. And so that could have been an option in Charlatan. It doesn't mean, look, just because we didn't roll it doesn't mean that she never has been, or that she never will be over the course of the adventure. But, again, we're intersecting parts of life here. Did you have fun? Did it help teach you something, Nina? Do you feel better for the experience? Or at least did you just have fun? All right, Victor. See you later. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, so anyway, we have our elf. It's now time to give her 20 levels of vanilla bard. And then we'll staple on the College of Eloquence goodies that she's going to get. Oh, what, other party members were calling you fat? Or was it like your enemies, and like were you going into like an orc camp, and they're like, oh, what are you going to do, fat lady? You're going to try and beat us up or something? Like, so did your enemies call you that, or was that from even your own friends? All right, we are a D8 hit die class as a bard, and we're getting 20 of them because we're level 20. What a coincidence. We are also going to have proficiency in light armor. Weapons, well, I just put bard weapons because it's all right here. 3 musical instruments of our choice. You can always ask your DM, hey, can I replace that with, a calligraphy kit or something else that would be a part of the expression? Hey, Slaso. Good morning. Good morning to you. Everyone bullied you. I killed my enemies and beat up my friends. In a violent, you get 3 of them. A violent could very much be one. Dexterity and charisma are going to be our proficient saving throws. And skills, choose any 3. All right, let's take a look. I'm a born gambler who can't resist taking a risk for a potential payoff. I don't know, to me that would be investigation to calculate the mathematical odds of things. Aspiration, I'm determined to make something of myself. Also, if we're coming from a royal family and one day I'll reclaim my lands, if we want to know the banners, if we want to know the history, how to be polite, I think that history would be something we'd have some skill in as well. I'm always in debt. I spend my ill-gotten gains on decadent luxuries faster than I bring them in. If she actually has been doing this, kind of like living, kind of on, well, she hasn't been living on the street. She's been doing well for herself. She just outspends herself. Persuasion might be another good one for her. So she has deception and persuasion. She wants to make something of herself. If this is the best way to do it, she already has sleight of hand. Persuasion might be a good one here. Guitar that has a crossbow installed. Ah. Oh, we're going, we're kind of going, medieval Western European desperado, huh? Ooh. That habanero. Good burn. My name is Nina Banderas. Just remember. Oh, jeez. Come on. When you have your ballista launcher inside your cello case, you got to do that cool lean to the side, like squat down on one leg with the other extended out to stabilize, and then launch your ballista from that. Pardon me. All right, we're going to know 4 cantrips. Dun, da, 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 da. And on top of that, our proficiency bonus is going to be a +6 at level 20. Spells known we're going to get to. We have 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1 for spell slots at level 20. We are going to be getting some Bardic Inspiration at level 1. And our Bardic Inspiration at level 20 is going to be a D12. We are a Jill of all trades. So where we do not have proficiency in a skill, we'll still get half our proficiency bonus. We are going to have Song of Rest, which are also going to be D12s. I'm not going to worry about our Bard College just yet. Pardon. Our expertise, we're going to have expertise in 4 skills, where we are going to get to add double our double our proficiency. I definitely think sleight of hand, because that's how we've been making our living. Deception, to help maintain our false identity. Maybe perception? No, she likes taking risks and calculating them. Investigation. A violin, a guitar bow, and a celloista. Weaving Chaos, welcome! And what should be our 4th one here? Oh, noble family? Absolutely, we know our history. We can recall the banners, we know the alliances, we know all those details about nobles and such. Well, Nina, she can persuade, but I think she's more deceptive than she is persuasive. And Nina, thank you also for following. Now, this isn't my character. If you think persuasion is better than something else that I chose, absolutely, let's replace it. I'm not out anything. My dignity as a broadcaster doesn't ride on my initial presumption for expertise. If you all would want to mix it up somewhere else, then that's fine. Let me know. You know, does it go with her motif somehow? Does it go with her identity, her personality somewhere? The backstory we're creating. Let's go with it. All right, Nina. Now we have a font of inspiration. And counter charm. It's difficult for us to be charmed, and we can break others' charms. Magical secrets, we are going to put on our spell list. So I'm not worried about those just yet. And lastly, by being a level 20 bard, we get superior inspiration. Which means we always have at least one inspiration. And especially for this bard archetype, or this subclass, this can really come in handy with their 14th level capstone. And now let's explore that. So for those of you who weren't around during the first portion, I will quickly go over what we're going to be getting by being a College of Eloquence bard. At level 3, we get universal speech. We can speak to any creature. We're talking blub fish. We're talking just giants who don't speak Elven or Common. We're speaking to foxes, even if we don't know what the fox says in return. So we have this ability for universal speech. And of course, as a con woman, that comes in handy, right? We also are going to be getting soothing words. Soothing words allow us, I'm going to put SW here, to cast calm emotions for free a number of times per long rest equal to our charisma modifier. Then we get a really solid ability at level 6 called Undeniable Logic. Undeniable Logic is, have you seen that poster, Your Logical Fallacy Is? And it has the philosophers at the top and a whole chart about why you could be wrong about anything you say. This is it. This is a manifestation of Your Logical Fallacy Is. It is super good, super useful. And, I mean, you could blow yourself out of bardic inspirations using these very easily. It's very good. You can, creature takes psychic damage equal to the number you roll on the bardic inspiration die and must succeed on an int saving throw or get disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes. Which means you can set up your own abilities. As a bonus action, you can use Undeniable Logic and then force them into a disadvantage save against Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Irresistible Dance, some other kind of charm, or whatever. Or honestly, you got a wizard in the party, force that disadvantage and go get him, Tiger, Fireball. The alternative is they can regain hit points equal to the number on the Bardic Inspiration die, and they have advantage on the next saving throw that they make before the end of your next turn. Very good, very handy. You'd be using this a lot, but honestly, because this is roleplay support, this is quasi-combat, more roleplay support. There's a strong combat presence here at level 6 that the Bardic colleges of Lore and Valor don't get themselves, or at least it doesn't seem as strong. Because they can modify their Bardic Inspiration to do other things. Like, your Bardic Inspiration is very vanilla. You know, you can use it to power this fun little thing, whereas Combat Inspiration and Cutting Words, like, you do all sorts of other manipulations with it. A Barbarian with College of Eloquence with Intelligence as a dump stat with that. What's the combo you're fishing for, Raven? And then lastly, our capstone ability, as our subclass capstone, I mean, is called Infectious Inspiration. When a creature adds one of your Bardic Inspiration dice to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll fails, the creature can keep the Bardic Inspiration die. In addition, when a creature adds one of your Bardic Inspiration dice to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll succeeds, you can use your reaction to encourage a different creature other than yourself that can hear you within 60 feet of you, giving it a Bardic Inspiration die without expending any of your Bardic Inspiration uses. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your Charisma modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. You are spreading the love. Or rather, you're the backline person going, you get a cure, disadvantage, watch out, Bardic Inspiration, just blown off of you onto other people. And that's why, especially with the level 20, where you always have the one, it means you can always have the one, and it's very difficult to lose, and you can even multiply it by using your reaction. Oh, a dumb character with infallible... Oh, gotcha. Yeah, of course, you could... Because, look, Raven, in that case, the infallible logic that person has is, yeah, well, I'm rubber and you're glue, so whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. How? You literally can't fight against that. Literally. I'm doing this on Sheep's behalf because she's not here. Literally. How do you even compete against someone like that? Or you simply say, nuh-uh. Slice-o. And so here we go. We have someone who, she could be a great help to the team. Again, I said kind of like a Fujiko character from Lupin. She could be a great help to the team, but she certainly has her own... She has her own things going on. Bardic Oprah, says Nina. All right, we have the chassis of our character. Let's drop the Hemi in her, okay? We're going to go and take our standard array. And now, after all of this, we are going to put numbers to the character. Because numbers are one of the last things you should worry about in a game of D&D. I know it's about numbers. Controversial statement. Ooh. We have a character. We understand who she is, where she's come from, her story. We can make decisions on her behalf. Nina is even like getting, Nina's saying, this is me. Oh, hey, it me. And you know what? Oh.
Capture me when you finish.
Ooh, hey, yeah. Oh, no. Come here. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Oh, and there's even more. Yeah. Woo. All right, Hark. Yep, we'll pull a gotcha for you here in a little bit. All right, so given her age, given the fact that she has this other identity, given the fact all this, especially her personality, obviously, she's got some huge charismas here. As we're gonna drop the 15 in there because she has it. She has to work it on the street. She has to try and con people. She's even pretending to be royalty when she's absolutely not. Now, unlike our young half-drow, whose dump score was intelligence, I think absolument she has a 14 in int. She's also had to survive on the streets. And so let's give her a 13 in dex. Because she's very twitchy, and you know what? If she's got to shank someone, you got to shank someone to get away. Um, 12 wisdom. She's had to survive in an urban environment with money. She's not totally a fool. She's not the best at, treating herself or insight or whatever. There you go. Normal constitution, but I don't think she's the strongest. So now let's add on our racial modifiers. 15 dex and 16 charisma. And it's time to add 10 points to the stats. I think for sure we're going to max out her charisma with 4 of the points, so we have 6 left. So we've used 4. Let's use a 5th here in dexterity to bring it to 16. Now, if you're ever in a spot and you say, oh, where am I going to float my random 1 point? Well, if you ever did consider multi-classing, and you have something like Wisdom you could drop 1 point into to reach that 13 minimum threshold, you could do that. I would recommend if you're not, and you could put it into Strength, drop it into Strength, because remember, your Strength score can provide you mechanical benefits such that you don't have to rely on your Strength modifier. Your Strength score determines things like jumping distance and how much you can push, pull, lift, drag, carry, whatever. So now we've used 5, actually we've used 6 of our points. We have 4 left. Where do we want to put these 4 points? I'm kind of leaning 2 in Dex and 2 in Wisdom, because I think she would be a little bit more perceptive and have picked up a little bit more on the streets. Because remember, Wisdom is street smarts. Intelligence is book smarts. But I think she'd still be twitchy. So I'm really tempted to bring her Dex to an 18 and her Wisdom to a 14. What do you all think of that? All right. It is done. Strength is -1 as a mod, but that's fine. We drop in our modifiers. Our saving throw is -1 for strength. Athletics is a 2. Remember, -1, but Jill of all trades gives us half our proficiency to unproficient skills. Dexterity saving throw is a 10. Acrobatics is going to be a 7. Stealth is a 7. And sleight of hand, 6 plus 6 is 12, unless we're doing that new math. Plus 4 is going to be 16 to sleight of hand. What was that meme? Strength is how well you can crush a tomato. Oh, yeah, there's a really fun tomato. There's a really fun tomato meme about the abilities. Constitution saving throw is 0. Intelligence saving throw is a 2. Remember, it doesn't apply to saves, your Jill of all trades. Arcana, however, is going to be a 5. As will nature and religion. History and investigation, though, this is going to be 12. And so we're going to have a 14 history and a 14 investigation. We're definitely covering our tracks and keeping our story straight. Wisdom saving throw is 2. Animal handling is going to be 5. Insight 5. Medicine 5. Survival 5. Perception is going to be 8. Charisma saving throw is 11. Deception is going to be is absolutely gross 17. Intimidation is 8. Performance is 8. And persuasion is going to be 11. Our passive perception is going to be 18, as that is 10 plus your perception modifier, and that's just your natural awareness of what's going on around you. Armor class, again, that depends on the armor that we're wearing, or any magic or something that we cast. At level 20, I'm not going to presume that. I'm going to put a question mark. Initiative is a dex check, and because of Jill of all trades, we can add half of our proficiency to that, because we're not proficient in initiative, and so that's a +7. Current hit points. At level 1, you get your full 8 from your hit die, and then our remaining 19 levels of our 20 are half +1 your hit die. Unless your DM says roll for it, or you come up with something else. Or if it's a really deadly campaign, you just max it out and you still hope you live. Then, for all 20 of our levels, we get bonus hit points equal to our Constitution modifier. Now, this is easy math, as this just drops away because our con mod is 0. So we have 95 plus 8, so we have 103 hit points at level 20. Remember, it's a gross 17 without items, says Raven. Well, yeah, you're definitely not... so look, our half drow here is definitely a burly boy. He does have some of the thickness that's helping him out here. You're a little bit more svelte. You are a squish. Protect. Protect so she can attack. Weapon, I mean, if we just want to put something like Dex / Finesse, you're going to have a plus 10 to hit. And if we're doing Strength / Throne, it's going to be a 5. Now, if we're attacking with our spells, we have a plus 11 to hit, which is going to make resisting our spells a 19. Which, if you're forcing disadvantage with undeniable logic, advantage and disadvantage is a +5, -5 statistically. So if you use undeniable logic, you have a statistical 24 DC. I know it doesn't exactly work like that. It's different ways you can think about the math. Yes, with the cello ballista. And hey, you know what? You could have something like that, Nina, because magical secrets mean that you could learn the catapult spell if you want. And so you take that and go... Bardic Inspirations, we get 5 of them, because hey, that's our charisma modifier. And that also means that we can use calm emotions, and we could tell people to simmer down 5 times per long rest. Let me fill in spell slots. Super Quick-a-Mundo. 2, 2, 1, and 1. We're getting 4 cantrips. And 4. We cast off of Charisma. It's a 19 to save against our spells at a plus 11 to hit. And our sort of other slot here, Bardic Inspiration, which are D12s. And we have 5 of them. Dun, da, 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 da. And we're casting as per Bard. Now, she has earned a name, everyone. She's been through stuff. She has an entire life. She's no longer a set of random numbers. She has earned a name, and so we can come up with her real name, her noble name, her name on the streets. Whatever you'd like here, I'm open for suggestions from you all about what this character's name or names would be. And while you think of those up, whoops, that's Cleric and Bard. So spells known. At level 1, we get 4 spells known. 2, 3, 4. At level 5, we get another 6, 7. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is level 2. This is level 3 and 4. So that's 5 and 6. 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 15, and 17. And you may say, whoa, partner, hold up your mosey a moment. Where the frick are my magical secrets, dagnabbit, consarn it, and I will show you where your magical secrets got off to. You rootin' tootin' cowboy, hold your horses. I'm partial to name Marguerite Vermilion, but I don't know if that's Drowish. What does it matter if it's Drowish? Maybe that's just what she goes by. Or the Drow Society. This is Drow Society. Drow Society could be quaint southern, southern bells and, the kind of the backhanded bless your heart. That stuff could very well be the Drow Society in the world in which we're playing. Everyone is proper ladies and gentlemen on the surface, but beneath that, in the hot summer heat of the South, things get pretty vicious and things get pretty passionate. Now, as you'll see, we get magical secrets at 10, 14, and 18, and we can pop those anywhere that we have levels. I'm floating these off to the side in 3 just to show the mobility. Because, of course, when you level up, you can swap around a spell. You can even take, like, let's say you hit level 8, and you don't want a 3rd level spell. You're happy with the one that you have. But you'll want another level 2 spell, so drop your level 8 down here. As long as you can cast in the slot, you're fine. But anyway, you can see we get 2 magical secrets at 10, 14, and 18. And so we haven't gone over her spell list and what she'd have. But we can just make a note down here that somewhere out there on the great spell sheet, we can drop these wherever we want, and they can be cleric spells, they could be druid spells, they could be bard spells, they could be cantrips. You want cantrips? Get yourself a 6th cantrip as a bard. Get all the cantrips as a bard. Why not? They count as bardic cantrips. You're still casting off of charisma, even if it's a wizard spell. But you know what, Nina, as we're talking about, get catapult. That's a wizard spell. I don't think bards get that, but you can. And fling. Fling those things. Ultima, only if you find the draw point for it. Whoa, Bexy! Welcome to our workshop. Sorry, I'm having some chips and hot salsa. Everyone, we raided Bixie last night. And she was working on her own campaign world. Yeah, thank you for stopping by, Bexy. So we saw Bexy. We saw Bexy streaming, and I said, you know what? There's another workshopper. Let's go raid another person who does what we do and see what she does differently. See her passion, how she delivers her thoughts. And it was a lot of fun. So, Bexy, thanks for coming by even before you go live. Bexy, please drop a link over to your channel here before you leave. How does the catapult spell work? Well, I'm glad you asked, because it just so happens I can find it real quick. Real quick, like. Is it not called catapult? I thought it was called catapult. Oh, is it telekinesis? Yeah, you're very welcome, Bexy. Thanks for sharing your world with us. What the heck is the spell I'm thinking of? What in the heck? Continual Flame, Crown of Madness. Maybe it's just called Fling. Or is that spell in Xanathar's guide? If that spell's in Xanathar's, it's not going to be in here. I could have sworn that there was a, I know there's telekinesis. I could have sworn there was a catapult spell. You could, like, just choose a stone and it's magically, it just magically gets launched, like, 200 feet. Do any of you know what I'm talking about? Am I just derping on the name of it? Charm Person, Color Spray, Disguise, Featherfall. It's not Magic Missile. Oh, it's in Xanathar's? Oh, okay, Hark. Gotcha. All right, so I knew I wasn't going crazy. But yeah, so, I mean, that... While we're sticking to the player's handbook here, there's a lot of spells you could have some fun with that. Well, kind of, apparently. We started making a character, and Nina said, oh, hey, it me, and kind of adopted the character, and you know what? That's perfectly fine. We're creating a random character using some of the new Unearthed Arcana subclasses, Bexy. In particular, we're going over the College of Eloquence Bard. And so we've made two randomly generated characters using our custom sheet here, our randomizer. And this way it removes bias. You know, if I'm the type of person to say, I love elves, I will always play elves, give me elves, I just want to die under a pile of elves. And that apparently that'll be all the characters I've played in my life. So I may have a natural bias towards elves, and if we go random, it removes the bias and challenges us to think about things that maybe we've never thought of before. Unique combinations that we would be unfamiliar with because it's not a stereotype, or it's not a premium, like the best combo of race, class, and background. Exactly. It's stepping out of a comfort zone, but because we're doing it in a group storytelling, a workshop fashion, we can all support each other. Because if I'm sitting here and I'm being baffled, how can we have this happen? Bexy, you, in your own life experience, your own experience at the tabletop, the things you've read and seen, I say, I know a person who is exactly like that. This is how he or she did whatever. And suddenly, yes, brilliant, Bexy. That's exactly who this character should be. Hark, so you rock more, you want to die under a pile of half-elves then. Okay. And we do this, Bexy, with character creation. We do this with campaign creation, NPC creation, villain creation. We have worksheets for all of it. You want to create a settlement? You want to create like a geographical region or a city? We have these worksheets that have the prompts for random placeholders. And then we tell the story of the place step by step as we build it. It's completely organic. It's a wonderful model. And it really can help get around writer's block. Hey, Bexy, stepping out of your comfort zone is part of role-playing. I've role-played men, I've role-played women, I've role-played children, and I haven't been a child, well, not like chronologically anyway, for some time. I've had to role-play as super bad evil guys who want to kill everyone, and that's absolutely not my personality. And yet, I have to step up and provide a compelling villain that can do this, and even maybe make the characters, the heroes, second guess themselves. Raven, the results of our past workshops, I'll show you here. I certainly don't want this to be a secret. If you come down here to where it says stream content, all of the stuff that we have done in prior workshops, you can either watch the video on how we did it, or you want to make a worksheet. Well, here's the one that we made for our Avernus villains, but download that and then remove our prompts and insert your own. And so you can just do a search. Go up here and look for keywords. All right, when we make a character, I make sure to put a bunch of keywords to find. So if you're like, oh, I've always wanted to play a forest gnome. I wonder what kind of forest gnomes that they've made on Matty Morgs. Look for forest gnome. And you know what? Keelabest de Smallok is going to come up, and you can watch us You can watch us make Keelabess with the video, and then you can download the PDF of her character sheet. You don't have to be a subscriber. It's all here for you. I want you to have this inspiration. This goes back and back, and you want to see what we did last year in 2018? 2018 content. It's right here. You open that up, and you go to old workshops. And this is what we did last year, including all the worksheets, all the maps, all of this stuff. There's a link for you, Raven. Tired nerd LOL. Yo, I'm glad I found this. Now I can finally make my dumb jerk bard idea. Hey, yeah, if you're finding inspiration tired, absolutely. And if you have questions also on tweaking something, let me know. Hark says, I mostly RP men because I try to draw my characters out and I'm bad at designing females. Not that I haven't tried. And you know what? We all have preferences too. Some people may just not feel comfortable stepping outside of, our boundaries of male, female, when it comes to our concept. You know, you may be devoutly religious and you may feel uncomfortable playing a character that questions faith or sexuality or your stance on, maybe you are a vegan and you're role-playing a classic, a meat-eating, red meat eating barbarian. And it's absolutely not your lifestyle as the player, but you're trying something different. And it might be awkward. The vegan might be playing the barbarian and just go, this good meat. I also eat meat like everyone else. Isn't that what we meat eaters say? And it might come out a little weird. Heck, that might even make the character more lovable and memorable. Who knows? But it's a lot of fun. Have I had moments? Oh, thank you, Bexy. It'd be great to have you. In fact, Bexy, we even have roles for people who want to be mentors and help teach people. And you are always welcome to volunteer and be a mentor as well. Or if you need mentoring, if you're world building, stop into our mentor workshop and ask a question, and you'll get a lot of people helping you out. That's the type of community that this is, Bexy. Oh, the Joker was good? So they made a good live-action DC movie. Raven says, my high priestess of Fortuna. I'm not uber religious at all, but when she discovers her goddess temple being sacked, she went to kill it. Yeah, so we can challenge ourselves, right? And we can learn to walk in another person's shoes, if only, through this, interaction of a piece of paper that's a character. I have one real question, and it's mostly related to my character's flaws, because I want them to be flawed, but not too flawed, but also good, but not too good. So I was wondering if I could give you my character's pros and cons. Yeah, that's fine, Tired. Please do so. Yeah, so Bexy, there's a segment there called Make Me a Mentor, and let me know the roles that you would want to have on the server. We have a looking for a group area, Nina. There's plenty of people in a community like this who are looking for players, or even or players looking for games.